Danny has worked you out. Sig has stretched you off and calmed you down, helped you find your zen. And this week, we're going to be talking about injury prevention. In particular, we'll be talking about the neck. So if you've been with us the last couple of weeks, we did the mid-back, the thoracic spine. We've done the lumbar spine. Now we're going to do the C-spine, the cervical spine, not the cervical spine, the cervical spine, or the neck. Now, during furlough, during lockdown, everyone I know has been phoning me up saying, I'm just getting this kind of neck pain and I don't know why. And we have a thing in the physio profession that we call tech neck. So imagine you're looking down at your phone and that's the position you stay in for long periods of time. Now you can be standing or sitting, but your neck is in that position, and then occasionally you're going to look up like that, and then you're going to look down again. You're also going to be typing away, okay, on a laptop or a computer, and depending on the height of where you are, you're basically flexing your neck, and then to compensate for that flexion, you then look up like this. Okay, so we've identified, well, in the medical profession, we identify 3 parts of the cervical spine, 3 parts of your neck. We've got the upper part of the neck, we've got the mid part, and then we've got the lower part. So what happens when I'm doing this and I'm looking at my phone or my laptop, I'm flexing the lower part of my neck. And then as I do that, I'm extending the upper part of my neck. These will give me really bad posture. These can give me neck pain. So we've got 2 ways of identifying that. And we call these forward head posture or pokey chin. So forward head posture is quite simple. It's just there like that. Okay? So my head is further forwards than it should be. So this part of my ear is called the tragus. So if I've got a forward head posture, and I drop a line down from the tragus, it's going to go in front of my collarbone, my clavicle. Can you see that? If I drop it down, that goes in front. If I'm in a normal head position, and I drop a line through the tragus, it goes behind the clavicle. We want to be behind the clavicle. Imagine your head is a bowling ball, and the way to align against gravity for minimal gravity resistance is to be in line with the whole body. So you've got a forward head posture that's constantly pulling your body forwards. We're going to have to compensate with muscle tightness here. And the other thing is something that we call pokey chin. Pokey chin, normally when you're looking down at your phone, and then you look up there, and then you end up in this pokey chin posture here. So we've got pokey chin and forward head posture are the 2 things that we really want to work on. Now the great thing about boxing is that boxing requires lots of neck movement. Now, generally, Danny's taught you when you're in your stance, elbows in, you can have your chin down. Okay, so in this position, the chin is down. Okay, and that's the boxing position. And that chin down movement can be quite healthy, but when you stop boxing, guess what? You're in that flexed position again because your chin is tucked in. So we're going to show you some better ways of potentially thinking about posture and movement. So now we're going to go on to the movements of the neck. Now the neck can roll and move in loads and loads of different ways. So if we think about boxing, when we're doing some offensive movements, the chin is generally tucked in. Okay, and this is to protect our neck. Okay, so the chin is tucked down in this position. Okay, so we're always working down in this position when we're doing offensive movements. If we're doing defensive movements, we're going to be moving the neck all over the place, getting out of the way of the punches. Okay, we might be turning, twisting, bringing the chin back, lifting the chin up. Whatever we're doing, the neck is a significant part in our movement. It's important that we understand that. We can also do some crazy like neck circles, where we can go all the way around. Okay, you want to join me on those? They're quite good fun. So the neck has this huge range of movement, but what we need to do is we need to analyze that movement and just see where we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up straight. In fact, what I'll do is I'll step behind here, standing up straight, feet together, hands down by my sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently just tuck my chin in. Okay, I'm just going to gently tuck my chin in, and I'm going to lift a little bit up through there. So don't have this pokey chin posture. I'm going to put myself in a better position. I stand with my feet together, and then very simply, I'm going to look over my right shoulder back to the center. How did that feel? How much range did I get? I'm going to look over my left shoulder and then back to the center. Again, how does it feel? Is there any pain? How much range have I got? Then I'm going to keep my chin upright and I'm going to bring my ear to my shoulder. I'm not bringing my shoulder up to my ear. Okay, all I'm doing is ear to shoulder. Again, you might be feeling a stretch here. Coming back up, other side. Again, feeling a stretch on the opposite side as you do that. This is where we also store a lot of our tension, so it's quite normal to get neck pain and tightness all around here. So the other movements we've got are forward and back. I'll turn to the side here. So this is the forward movement here. This is called protraction. And if I were to tuck my chin in, give myself a double chin, that is called retraction. So we've got protraction and retraction. Just have a little go at those movements and just see how they feel. Protraction normally quite easy, retraction normally a little bit harder. And then the final movements we've got are flexion and extension. This is simply looking up, looking down. So we're going to start again, feet together, tuck my chin in slightly, and I'm going to look all the way up. And what I'm after is that chin pointing to the ceiling. Okay, if the chin points to the ceiling, I've got full range, okay, and I can look all the way up, and the neck is moving well. Last one, down, chin to chest, chin all the way down to chest. Might feel a stretch here at the back, and then back up. Okay, so we've assessed the movements of the C-spine, the neck, and now what we need to do is assess the basic strength. Because the neck is one of those things that, boxing is one of the sports that does train the neck. If you're doing any combat sports, but there's not many times where we actually be strength training the neck. And the neck doesn't need sort of dynamic strength, it needs isometric strength or static strength. So all we're going to do is do the same movements again, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to resist using our hand. Okay, so we're going to start with the rotation. I'm going to rotate to the right. So all I'm going to do with two fingers that are together, I'm just going to block my chin as I look to the right. I'm not actually moving. I'm just statically working those neck muscles here. Okay, if I wanted to, I could block the chin here and turn that way if I really wanted to try and muscle it. So my neck isn't moving, but I'm working my arm or my hand against the neck. So do the same thing the other side, two fingers, okay, and you're just looking to your left, pushing your jaw and trying to rotate round, trying to make sure that you're not moving the neck side to side. It's a pure movement of rotation. If you want, you can put the hand here and then just rotate in there. I'm working quite hard. And you want a 6-second contraction, no longer than 6 seconds. So between 5 and 6 seconds, because after that, the muscle's just going to fatigue. So you're working strength there. And you want to be ramping it up. Okay, start about 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%. Okay, so that you're getting a maximal strength test. Next one we're going to do is side flexion. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to block the side of my head and I'm going to push into the side of my head. My hand's going to block. Okay, again, 6 seconds, same thing the other side. We're going to push into that position, 6 seconds, and relax. And again, I'm ramping up the strength, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%. So I can see how I do that, and I do that over that 6 second period. Then we want to do protraction, retraction. So as we push forwards, what we're going to do is we're going to resist our forehead with our hand. So I'm going to push into my hand with my forehead. 6 seconds, ramping it up to 100% at the end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck my chin down. Okay. And what we don't want to do is put the head back like this or down like this. We want to come straight back and retract. So that position there with the chin slightly down and I'm pushing back 60, 80, 100% and relax. Then if we wanted to measure going up and going down, we can do that, but that's going to be harder to do. And generally, we don't need strength in those movements there, although you will see boxers with the neck harness, okay, working up and down in that position, trying to strengthen the muscles of the neck. So we're going to miss out flexion and extension. So we've done our tests in terms of range of movement. We've done our tests in terms of strength. So now we're going to go give you 3 amazing stretches for your neck. So if you join me down on the bench, just down here, hopefully you can see me there. So what I'm going to do, first stretch is going to be for the upper trapezius. These big muscles here, okay, and they're involved in shrugging the shoulders up and down. They get really, really tight, and that's also when you hold all your tension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to sit on my hand. And the reason I'm going to sit on my hand is because that drops my shoulder down, and I can't lift my shoulder up very easily because I'm sat on my hand. So that makes perfect sense. And then I'm going to just flex my neck to the side. And then with fingertip pressure, I'm just going to stretch that position. We're aiming for about 30 seconds of stretching here. So getting just a nice stretch in that position. Hopefully you're doing it with me. Getting a good stretch on the neck. Just holding that position, easing into it. I keep my chin up. I'm sat on my hand. My shoulder's not riding up like that. I'm keeping my shoulder down, and I'm just getting a nice stretch on the upper trapezius there. Beautiful. I'm going to do the same thing the other side. I'm going to take my right hand. I'm going to sit on my hand. Again, we want to stop that shoulder rising up. So I'm going to flex over to the opposite side. I should be feeling the stretch here. And fingertip pressure just here. Just fingertips. I'm not yanking my head down. Just gentle fingertip pressure there. Getting a good stretch on that upper trapezius. Okay, your upper traps. Going to get that lovely stretch. 30 seconds is the magic amount of time whenever we're stretching muscle. Okay, so just holding it there, enjoying the stretch, and then easing out. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, so that's the upper trapezius stretch. Now what we're going to do is a different type of stretch. The muscle of what we call levator scapular. This is one of the muscles, okay, that just shrugs your shoulders up and down. It elevates the scapula, as its name suggests. Okay, so this one, I'm going to be a bit gross now, apologies about this. I want you to sniff your armpit, okay? So it will look like this. You place your hand on your head, and you're going to kind of sniff your own armpit. And as you do that, you're just going to rotate here, and you should be feeling a stretch on this side. Okay, so what I also do is I put this hand behind my back. That's going to lock this shoulder down. I'm going to place my hand on my head, and I'm going to go to try and sniff my own armpit. Okay, this stretch of the levator scapulae, or the armpit sniff stretch. So we're just holding in that position. Okay, again, 30 seconds is the magic number that we're after. Just stretching, just a little bit of fingertip pressure there. Again, I'm not yanking the neck down. Okay, we're easing off there. Okay, other hand goes behind the back. That keeps the shoulder down. This hand on top of the head. And again, we just try and sniff our own armpit. And again, I'm flexing the neck forwards and down as if I'm trying to look under the armpit. I'm feeling the good stretch here in that muscle, levator scapulae. Getting a really, really good stretch there. Holding that stretch. 30 seconds is the magic number. Easing into it. And easing out of it. Okay, so the neck should be feeling a bit looser. Certainly if you look left and right, side flex your head, your shoulders should be feeling looser. Now we're going to do one more stretch. And there's muscles at the front here that basically raise the clavicle up. They're called the scalene muscles. And these are a little bit trickier to stretch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place one hand behind the back. Okay, and one hand sort of blocking that shoulder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to side flex away. So keep this shoulder down, side flex away, and then I'm going to turn my chin to look up. And you'll feel that stretch. Absolutely amazing. I'm pretty tight here, so I'm really enjoying this stretch. Okay, holding that position. 30 seconds, and then just easing out of that position. So before we did the armpit stretch, we're going down. Scalene stretch, we're going up. Going to swap over. This hand goes behind the back. This hand blocks that shoulder from moving. Going to side flex over. Keep the chin proud, and then I'm going to rotate and look up to the ceiling. Feeling that good stretch, holding that position there. Really lovely stretch. 30 seconds, the magic number. Holding that position, stretch a little bit more, going to ease out and relax. Okay, and then if I look left and right, side to side, all of a sudden I've got this huge range of movement. Okay, and I'm working really nicely there. So when we're doing strength work, so we've done 3 amazing stretches. When we're doing strength work, what I would recommend is that you just get a small inflatable ball that you're going to use against the wall. So rather than resist and use your hand to do this, you can do this against the wall. So come and join me over here against the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the ball against the wall, and the ball is inflatable. So heels together, I'm going to have a little bit of tension in my tummy and my glutes. I'm going to keep my chin down, and I'm going to push the head back. And I'm going to do that for 6 seconds and relax. So I'm working against the resistance of the ball. I can also do that to the side, so I can put that at the side here. So put the side of my head, and then all I'm doing is I'm pressing my head into the wall, strengthening these muscles here. 6 seconds, that's all I need to do. Let's do the other side. Again, nice and close to the wall. Get that sweet spot, and then we're just squeezing in, just isometrically, statically working those neck muscles. 6 seconds, relax. Okay, last one. We're just going to place our forehead into the wall. I know you can't see this, but you get the picture. I'm pushing in and relax. Okay, so that is a great way to strengthen the neck. All we're doing is using a little inflatable ball, well worth it. You can also do the same thing with a rolled up towel. Okay, so I could work against the resistance of the towel in this position here. Okay, I could also work the side position there if I wanted to. So all I'm doing is got some resistance there, and I'm just working on the side. I personally prefer the ball, because I think it gives you a little bit better feedback with the inflation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work with a towel, and we're going to do some movements with mobilization. This is a technique that comes from a physio called Brian Mulligan, all the way in New Zealand, and he came up with this technique of mobilizing joints with movement. You'll see it used all over the place. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, but just tip our hat to say, Mr. Mulligan, thank you very much. Your technique works well. So the idea is that we want to try and restore the curve that we have here. That's called a cervical lordosis. Got a natural curve there. Some people can lose the curve, so we're going to try and replace it. So what I do is I roll up the towel, and then I'm going to place that in the back of my neck. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull equally so that I've got a little bit of tension. So as I'm pulling, I'm just pulling forward. I'm not crossing over trying to strangle myself. Okay, so it's just pulling forwards like that. Okay, and then just tuck the chin in a little bit and just holding that position. What that does is it's beginning to pull my neck in the right direction. So what we want to do is also increase that curve. And the way we're going to do that is if I pull, so I'm pulling on the lower part of my neck, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift my head up. I'm going to look up as I pull. Okay, so I'm pulling and looking up at the same time. All right, so I'm going to just go back and forth doing that movement, up and down as I pull, mobilizing with the movement. Okay, and this is absolutely wonderful for the neck. Feels great, looks silly, okay, but if you do this, it becomes absolutely wonderful. Yeah, recommend probably about 6 to 8 times. And then what we do is we just have a look at that neck position there, and you should have a nice curve in your neck there that we've restored. Now, sometimes some people are having trouble with rotation. So the towel, again, the Mulligan technique, the mobilization with movement is a great way to do that. So what you want to do is put the towel on the place where you're struggling, where you can feel the tightness. Okay, on there, it's about me. So I've got the towel equal distance there. Okay, so I'm pulling here. I'm going to do a little chin tuck. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look to the left. So I'm going to look to the left as I pull the towel on the right. So what I'm doing is I'm working the joints of the neck as I do the rotation at the same time. So I'm mobilizing the neck with movement, okay? And this is a lovely, lovely exercise, helping with rotation. And I've got, again, I've got lots of tension on there, and I'm just twisting and moving. Okay, let's do it to the other side. About 6 to 8 repetitions is what they recommend. So I'm gonna, as I look to the left, I pull, or look to the right, I pull on the left. So I'm getting that nice rotation on there. I look to the left, right, and I pull on the left. And this is absolutely wonderful. Great for a stiff neck. Again, 6 to 8 reps. So they are the techniques that we use. So what we need to do now is we need to retest and see how does that feel? How does it feel mobility-wise in terms of my range of movement? How does that feel strength-wise? So what I'm going to do, just step behind the bench, feet together. Again, tuck the chin slightly, and then I'm going to look over my right shoulder. And I know that I can look further. I've got less stiffness, less pain, okay, and I've got loads and loads of rotation. I can almost look behind me like an owl 360, okay, that feels good to me. So what I'm going to do now, drop the hands down, and I'm going to drop my ear to the shoulder. And again, I had a real tightness there. That tightness is now gone, and it just feels much, much easier. Back to the center, over to the other side. I'm still a bit tight this side. Okay, so I could do that stretch if I wanted to, but what I'm doing is I'm doing the retest, and we can feel, that feels better, but it's still not perfect. Then I'm gonna do the protraction, retraction. I'm gonna stick my neck out, that feels good. If I stick my chin back, give myself a double chin, that feels nice now. It was a bit tight there before. So those mobilizations, those stretches have worked. Okay, and then if I look up at the ceiling, again, I'm gonna do a slight chin tuck, then I'm gonna look up at the ceiling. Yeah, easy to move and look up. Drop my chin down to your chest. Again, that feels easier. And what we need to do is we need to retest the strength. Okay, and that was the static position. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to press my head into my hands to the side, to the other side. I'm stronger. I can feel that strength there. 2 fingers going to block, looking over. Again, I feel much, much stronger. Yeah, okay, and then all I'm going to do, press into my hand with my forehead, so pressing there, it feels stronger. I tuck my chin in slightly, and then I'm going to push with the back of my head into that position. And again, my neck just feels like it's firing up, it feels strong, it's got increased range of movement, and everything's good. So if we recap, tech neck is the enemy. We've got to stay away from tech neck. If you're looking at your phone, okay, try and bring it up to this position. And then what we're trying to do is we're trying to tuck the chin and lengthen at the back there. Try and avoid this kind of pokey chin position or this forward head posture. They will be the default settings from technology. We've got to battle against those. So now, okay, you've had your fabulous boxing session, you're fit, healthy, you've been stretched off, and you've had your mind calm down, and then we're finishing off with a bit of injury prevention and postural tips for the neck. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. A little bit of physio treatment right at the end of your session. I've certainly enjoyed teaching you. Hopefully we'll be back next week, and I think we can do the shoulder next week. A couple of tips and tricks for the shoulder. So if you've followed the whole series, we've done the neck today, we did the lower back a couple of weeks ago, and then the mid back before that. So we've got a whole series on the spine that you can do if you've got any back pain, or if you just want to stop back pain. These are great ways of doing it. Okay, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.